Jada Pinkett Smith. Guess the healing is done. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Many of you will have very much enjoyed the instructive series that I did upon Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith earlier this year, where I assessed what each of them was and explained more about the dynamic between the two, of course surrounding the infamous slap incidents that took place at the Oscars, and thereon further revelations about the behaviour of Jada Pinkett Smith towards Will Smith. You recall at the time that Jada Pinkett Smith put out the word salady declaration that there was much healing to be done and that she was here for it. Well, it would appear that the healing must be complete because she's resurfaced with her Red Table Talks, and it merits an examination of the same to reaffirm the fact that she is a narcissist, as I've explained previously, as a consequence of a detailed examination of all of the evidence over a sustained period of time, and also to demonstrate how her behaviours haven't changed and the additional manipulations and dynamic that are exhibited. To do so, as usual, I either use a piece of broadcast news, journalistic material, or a video, and here I've turned to the Mail Online with an article by Eve Buckland. The announcement is, I really crossed the line. Jada Pinkett Smith reveals fractious early relations with Will Smith's ex-wife, Cherie Zampino, after she complained about their son Trey's behaviour. Jada Pinkett Smith has revealed she crossed the line with husband Will Smith's ex, Cherie Zampino, during the early days of their relationship. Cherie, 54, was married to Will, 54, from 1992 to 1995, with the pair sharing son Trey, 29, with Jada, 51, sparking up a romance with the Fresh Prince star shortly after their separation. Speaking on Red Table Talk, the pair, who have since forged a strong friendship, detailed how an awkward incident over Trey's behaviour led to a spat. Now, that, of course, is a rather unusual thing in terms of the fact that the current wife has formed a strong friendship with the ex-wife. It can happen, but ordinarily that is rather strange of itself. Why? There's no need for it. Sure, because there may be a shared parenting experience that takes place, because it's the biological child of Cherie Zampino and the stepchild of Jada Pinkett Smith. In the past, there was obviously going to be some form of interaction between the two. But that doesn't mean that you have to become friends. And in actual fact, Jada Pinkett Smith asserting that they're friends is a method of her asserting control over the non-intimate secondary source, which is Cherie Zampino. It also shows an absence of boundary recognition. Why are you friends with your husband's ex? You don't need to be. But a narcissist will do so as a consequence of that embedding into the relationship, not recognizing the boundary of this was somebody who had a relationship in the past and there is a connection as a consequence of a child, but that's it. I can be civil to them. I can interact with them, but I don't need to be friends with them, and I certainly don't need to be inviting them onto my Red Table Talk, which of course is once again demonstrative of her absence of boundary recognition, her sense of entitlement, her poor boundary recognition in terms of oversharing of information by being prying, by airing the private matters that relate to a family. Shows an absence of emotional empathy for Miss Zampino, for Will Smith, and for Trey. Jada said, as the article continues, I can remember sometimes that I really crossed the line. There was one time Trey had a play date and he misbehaved. I was like, we got to sit down. We got to talk about this. Trey can't be behaving this way. Assertion of control over the child. Cherie retorted, let me give you my version. I literally walked in the house just to drop him off, and as soon as I walked in, Jada was like, we got to talk about his behaviour. Notice this in-your-face, aggressive, entitled behaviour. I was like, go get his daddy, please. Why are you talking about what happens at my house over here? His behaviour was at my house. This, of course, shows the interfering nature of Jada Pinkett Smith. The fact that the behaviour of her son causes Cherie to come up upon her radar means that her narcissism then says this. Subconsciously, remember, because Jada Pinkett Smith is an unaware narcissist. Cherie is on my radar. Therefore, control must be asserted over her. I shall do so directly, because here she is, and it provides us with a golden opportunity to assert control over her whilst drawing fuel. Jada said it was a lot of intertwining, and it got really kind of messy. While Cherie branded her behaviour out of line. Notice that Cherie's far more direct about calling out what it is, whereas Jada descends into a slight word salad deflection by saying, there was intertwining, and it really got kind of messy. Cherie also acknowledged that Jada didn't mean any harm with her comment, adding, my only requirement was that you treated my son well. You did that, and your heart was always right toward him, wanting the best for him. Well, that may have been the exterior experience and the external appearance that was created, but the fact is, that is not accurate. Actress Cherie also detailed how her behaviour became shameful at times, revealing how she went uninvited into Jada and Will's bedroom to check out the decor. Well, that's an absence of boundary recognition on her part. I haven't put this individual under the Tudor scope, but that's a clear boundary recognition issue and, of course, a sense of entitlement. Doesn't mean that she's a narcissist, it merely are indicators. Jada said you looked around, you wanted to see what was going on, how it was decorated and all that. It was early on and I think you were like, I just need to know Queen Bee is around here. That's Jada Pinkett Smith provoking by labelling. Jada added, I was like, well, damn, she done picked the house out, I can't say nothing. We were very fiery. Jada also revealed she had a misconception that she would be done with Cherie after her and Will's divorce, before accepting that Cherie would always be part of their family. Note that she doesn't have to be part of the family, but that's the way that the narcissist bolts somebody on as an extension. Scream 2 actress Jada said with hindsight she would have taken a beat before getting involved in Will and Cherie's relationship amid their public and fresh split, revision of history, false compassion. Cherie said, but when you got it, I remember you coming to me, and you were teary, you were very emotional, and you said, I just didn't know. Pity play. Basically what you were saying was, I was in the picture too soon, and you apologised for that. False contrition. Jada continued, my philosophy always was, how can I love Trey and not love the most important person in his life, which is his mother? Grandiosity. You don't need to love the mother of the stepchild. You don't. But this is again Jada Pinkett Smith's word salady grandiosity, whereby her narcissism compels her to control everybody that comes up on the radar by suggesting that she ought to be involved, and that she should have an interaction with her, and that she should love her. Will and Jada, 50, tied the knot in 1997 and share son Jaden, 24, and daughter Willow, 21. Cherie was later asked by Jana Kramer what she felt about Jada getting the better version of Will. Cherie said, what I think is when our union ends, he should be better because of me. He should be better. So it might hurt to see you with the better version, but he shouldn't be worse because he's been with me. In this stage of life, I think I left it too soon. There was a part of me trying to protect myself. If I was in a different time, I would never leave that soon. I'd work at it. The star said that her and Will are better at co-parenting than they were as a couple, with Jada joking the trio aren't a throuple after revealing Cherie and Will go on a holiday together with his family members and without her. Accordingly, Jada Pinkett Smith is back in the news and is engaging in the assertion of control over the non-intimate secondary source, which is Will Smith's ex, by inviting him onto a Red Table show and talking about their relationship, putting it out there, as always, in the way that Jada Pinkett Smith does, for the purposes of demonstrating that she has no boundary recognition, that she needs to assert control over this person and, of course, the audience. But let's have a quick look in the comments section to see what people think about these revelations. Do they understand what's going on and what this person is? Garden Bees. Can you imagine her judging anyone else's parenting skills? Trey's the only normal one. Spicy Spice. I saw someone on Reddit recently describe Jada as someone who constantly punishes us for something we didn't do with how much she overshares despite nobody asking for it, and I truly think that is the perfect way to describe her. Indeed, there is a way of oversharing, which shows her absence of boundary recognition and sense of entitlement. Blah, 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 LDN. Can't stand Jada. In the same camp as Angelina, Amber, and Harry's wife. Monumentally annoying and full of it. Her smirk when she failed to stop her husband making an idiot of himself in front of the world said everything. Jenny adds, and Chrissy Teigen. Ziota, Jaded is cancelled. Jedi Mind Declassify. Of course, toxic alopecia faker Jada would. It's all about her. London Mama tries so hard to come across as genuine. Canadian Kitty, just like Harry's wife. Yummy Mummy 1234. On her self-appointed therapist Red Table show. What a joke. That woman is completely toxic. Guess where? This woman sure likes to hear herself talk. Does she actually think that anyone gives a hoot about what she has to say? Casey5959. Jesus, Jada, did you ever think to say stop that to your own kids? Obviously not. Lady Claire. She has zero credibility. Red Pill Artist, alopecia faker, husband tormentor, narcissist. Hope, another narcissist and complete bore, like Harry's wife. Ducker 10, if she wasn't dishing constantly on her own life and all their secrets, she wouldn't have a show, or is that what she's supposed to be doing? Can't stand her. K.Y., this woman is toxic. Supersonic 96, does Jada ever stop rehashing her entire past over and over? It's bizarre. D to me replies to that, she's a Markle 2.0. Trite-side, that wasn't the only time you crossed the line, remember? Your entanglement, of course referring to the affair that she had. Confused Elder, what a sociopathic nobody. Well, it certainly seems that the people in the comments section have got the measure of her, that she is indeed a narcissist and her toxic behaviours continue in the way that I've described. Undoubtedly, she's going to keep popping up because her narcissism compels her to do so. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.